Good people, good people, good people. Welcome to another edition of Commanders Wrap, where you get all your relevant Commanders news in 15 minutes. I'm your host, Dr. Wonderful, Doctor of Writing, Professor of English, and avid Commanders fan, joined here by my co host, Kevin Bayne. We are here every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and replaying at 10 a.m. on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible. Last week, Kevin, you weren't feeling so great. So, how are you feeling now?
I am doing much better than I was last week. So, yeah, um, every day I seem to be a little bit better.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad I didn't have to send you any castor oil. So, so before we get started with our first segment, we've got a bit of stadium news. J.P. Finley was the first to break the news that the Commanders and DC are close to a $3 billion stadium deal for a new stadium at the RFK site. And the Harris ownership group will pay up to $2.5 billion of the proposed new bill. I've always said the Commanders, Washington football team, Redskins, that they belong in DC, and they never should have left. And it's time to bring them home. What about you, Kevin? Do you have any thoughts on this before we move on?
Yeah, I'm with you. I've always been a fan. I believe the stadium should be in DC. They are the Washington Redskins, um, and I've always hoped that it would happen. I know there's a lot behind the scenes to make that not an easy not an easy thing to do, but it looks like they are making progress on it, and so I think it will happen. I just don't know exactly when, but so far from what I see, I do. I like the direction they're moving in.
Same here. So hopefully we can report it when it actually becomes final, right?
Absolutely.
So, right, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our first segment. We are going to analyze one of the other, what we call non-confirmed top 30 visits. Offensive tackle from Oregon State, Gerad Christian-Lichtenhan. And like I said, he was a rumored top 30 visit. He stands at 6'8", 315 pounds. And according to the website, the 33rd Team, his pro comparison is Dan Skipper, who is a current Detroit Lions backup OT. That's the skinny. Now let's get a deep dive, Kevin. What's your analysis of Gerad?
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's got great frame, 6'8", 315 pounds. He has a knack for exploding out of his pass set to get depth. He's a functional mover with adequate quickness and agility. He has some pop in his hands to stun and halt rushers when he does connect, and he does have quick feet to get to the second level for a guy his size. He has displayed growth as a run blocker. The cons with him are he's only had 1 year with above average play. Um, he needs to work on getting lower with more consistency. And this is something that he's even said himself. He occasionally gets a little high because his hips are so much taller than everyone else's. And he could work on his hand technique and timing. Plus, his efficiency framing blocks must be refined for he's ready for NFL action. And so, yeah, me personally, I would probably pass on him as I think it's just going to take, a handful of seasons to get him to where he needs to be. With that being said, you can never go wrong with depth on the line. But yeah, not a guy that I would personally take, but we'll see what happens.
Right. I kind of feel similar. It's never wrong to go O line in the draft,
Yeah.
and I do think we're going to take an O lineman. It's just whether or not it's him and whether or not it's a tackle, those kinds of things. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them bring in some interior depth. I wouldn't mind seeing them bring in maybe a backup center, as we only have the Oddich for another 2 years, and you never know what the future may hold. So certainly, I'm with you, Kevin. I really don't see him being the pick. Maybe if he falls to later rounds, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that quote unquote developmental talent area of the draft, if he falls 5, 6, even late fourth or something, and we want to make a move, maybe there makes a bit more sense for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, we've got the draft coming up this week, this Thursday, and you're going to be doing a position mock, but also you're going to do a player mock as well. So you're going to tell us who the position is, and you're going to tell us what the player is going to be, right? And you're going to tell us which one of these players you think is going to be a stud, and which one you think is going to be a stunner. And a stunner can be bad. Like I don't think this guy is actually going to perform for us, which is weird because it's going to be one of the people that you pick, but whatever. Or it could be something good. You might be surprised how much he plays or so forth and so on.
Yep.
So now that we have the ground rules set, and this is a no trade mock of rounds 1, 2, and 4. So now that we've got the ground rules set, go ahead, Kevin. Tell me your position mock for round 1, and then tell me who the player is.
Okay. Yeah, I've said this for a while now, and I am still gonna stick with defensive end for the first pick. A name that we've actually discussed in the past, and I think we go James Pierce Jr. Out of Tennessee. We lost our sack leader and Fowler to free agency, and I think at pick 29 we go best available pass rusher. And I think this will be the pick. I do like Shamar Stewart. It's another name we've discussed as well. I don't think Shamar will be there at 29. So, yeah, I'll go Pierce. I really like the way he plays and what he brings to the table.
Nice, nice. So we got defensive end, round 1. James Pierce Jr. is Kevin's pick. Round 2, what's the position, Kevin, and who's the pick?
I'm gonna go wide receiver. Another one that we've discussed in the past, actually, Matthew Golden. I know we brought in Debo, but I feel like we still need a wide receiver that can go deep opposite of Terry. Losing Diami, and that was Diami's best attribute was the long ball. And of course, he's no longer with us. And yeah, I just think we give Jaden another weapon here. Golden has great long speed. He's burst off the ball, and he's able to create explosive plays down the field, something he's done over and over again. He knows how to get separation. He's crisp route runner, and yeah, I like what he brings to the table as well.
Okay. Okay. So I like this now. Defensive end, and then we go offense and wide receiver Matthew Golden. Okay, think if Matthew Golden could get down that far. Remember, no trade mock. So these are who Kevin is actually projecting is going to fall to us. All right. Round 4, Kevin.
I'm gonna go running back. DJ Giddens. Yeah, he's a fast runner. He runs a 4.42. He's explosive. He has good vision. I think it's an area that can be improved. I think having 1 year left on both Eckler and B-Rob's contract, don't know what's going to happen with either of those guys. It's possible they're no longer with us after this season. So I was back and forth between the 61st overall second round pick. I was debating. I'm like, man, should we go running back, wide receiver? There's so many positions we can still use help in. But yeah, I'm going to go DJ Giddens here. And again, I think with possible running back departures after this season, we will take a running back in this draft.
I agree with you. I don't disagree. In terms of your picks, we'll see how they happen. I like 2 of them. I'm not sure how I would feel about James Pierce Jr. At that spot in round 1. Like I said, I don't think he's a fit for what it is that we want to do. Not that he's not a talented player, but we'll certainly see. I'm a bit different from you, Kevin. I've got round 1. I think we're actually going to go running back. And
Okay.
I got us taking Travion Henderson. I think Omarion Hampton's catching a little bit of fire.
Yeah.
And will wind up rising the boards a bit. So I've got Travion Henderson
Yeah.
going there. Number 2, I've got a stunning surprise. I actually have us drafting Femi with our second round pick.
Okay.
Yeah, Femi Oladejo.
Yep.
I keep landing on him, and I understand people might say that's a bit of an overdraft. We shall see. I think he's talented. And with number 4, here's where I get my developmental O lineman, JT Tuimoloau. I cannot pronounce his name. JT like Tuimoloau. I forget. He is a offensive lineman He would be really good as a developmental project, as a fourth round pick, as well.
Yep.
So we'll see. Who do you think your stud out of your draft is going to be, and who do you think your stunner is going to be?
Um, man, I really like DJ Giddens as the stunner. I think he's somebody that's kind of under the radar. Um, I watched his combine, I've watched his highlights, and yeah, I really like this kid. I think he's going to be a good running back. He is projected, I believe, to go in the fourth round. I'm not going to be shocked if he goes a little earlier or a little later than that. But yeah, just somebody that's kind of floating under the radar that I'll definitely have my eye on.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, with the draft coming next Thursday, I can't wait to see if you or I got any of our picks, any of our positions or our players. And on next week's episode of Commanders Wrap, we're going to get everybody caught up on the Commanders 2025 draft picks, all of them. And Kevin's going to tell you who he thinks the best picks were and who he thinks going to come out of this actual rookie draft class for us in surprise on until next week. I'm Dr. Wonderful, doctor of writing, professor of English, and avid Commanders fan, here with Kevin Bayne, and this has been your weekly edition of Commanders Wrap, where you get all your relevant Commanders news in 15 minutes.